Hello my dear students, one question from part D carrying 5 marks. What is chemical kinetics? So it is very important application when it comes to industry. And B is 0 because the reaction has not yet started. What is the change in time? Change in time, we put it as delta T. It is the numbers which we use for balancing a chemical equation. One particular instant of time, isn't it? As I increase the concentration of the reactant, what is this exactly X and Y? I shall explain to you all in the next class. Hello my dear students, I am Priyanka Rajaram from Vidyashram PU College, Temple of Excellence. Today I shall start with a new chapter, Chemical Kinetics. First, let's look into the weightage of the chapter. We can expect one question from part A, that is 1 marks, one question from part B carrying 2 marks, and one question from part D carrying 5 marks. So total weightage of this chapter is 8 marks. Okay. What are we going to study in this particular chapter? That is, we'll study about the rate of the reaction. Rate means the speed with which the reaction happens. Okay. Then we are going to study about two types of rate of the reaction, that is average rate of the reaction and instantaneous rate of reaction. Then we are also going to study about the factors that affect the rate of the reaction, and then we are going to study about collision theory of chemical reactions. So these are the main topics which we are going to study in this particular chapter. What is chemical kinetics? Chemical kinetics is a branch of chemistry that deals with rate of reaction and factors influencing the rate of reaction. That means we are going to study about the speed of the reaction and what are the factors that is actually affecting the speed of the reaction. Based on the speed of a reaction, we have 3 types, that is slow reaction. For example, I can tell rusting of iron. It might take from few months to few years for a piece of iron to completely get rusted. So rusting of iron is a very slow process. Next we have fast reactions. Fast reactions are those which happens really very quickly. For example, in your lab you all might have done inorganic salt analysis where you are mixing 2 solutions and in the test tube you are getting precipitate immediately. If it was supposed to come, then the precipitate is got immediately within fraction of a second. They are ionic reactions and they are really very fast reactions. Or I can give an example of melting of ice. You can take a piece of ice and keep it outside at room temperature. They will immediately start melting, isn't it? So those are really fast reactions. Then we have moderate speed reactions, that is, here the reaction is neither very fast nor very slow. For example, I can give spoiling of any vegetable, maybe a tomato. It will take 1 or 2 days if you keep it outside in summer. Yes or no? So spoiling of any vegetable I can take, or the process of photosynthesis we can take, where it is moderate speed reaction, nor it is very fast nor it is very slow. So we are going to study in our syllabus about moderate speed reactions. Now chemical kinetics is a very important branch of chemistry. It is because we are going to learn how can I change the speed of the reaction by changing the conditions or by changing the factors which is affecting the rate of the reaction. I can get an optimum condition to get maximum yield in a very short time and also make the entire process economical. So it is very important application when it comes to industries. Okay, so it's really very important concept which we are going to study. Next we'll see about rate of the chemical reaction. What is rate of a reaction? It is defined as change in molar concentration of any of the reactants or any of the products per unit time. That is, rate is equal to concentration change by time taken. For example, I'll take A is getting converted to B. A is the reactant, B is the product. Initially, at time t is equal to 0, the molar concentration of A I shall take it as 10. Okay? Time t is equal to 0 means still the reaction has not yet started and the initial concentration was 10 mole per dm cube I will consider. Now after some time, that is maybe after 5 minutes, so when t was equal to 5 minutes, the concentration of A reduced, maybe it was only 5 moles per liter. Okay, and some of the product also was formed, that is maybe at time t is equal to 5 moles of product B also was formed. So initially when time t was equal to 0, I had considered molar concentration of A is 10 and B is 0 because the reaction has not yet started. B is not yet formed, isn't it? So this is 0. But after 5 minutes, the concentration of A reduced to 5 moles and concentration of B increased to 5 moles. Now what is rate of the reaction? I can talk in terms of A now. Okay, that is time taken was 5 minutes and the change in concentration is from 10 to 5 it has reduced, that means change in concentration is 5 moles. So the rate of the reaction I will get it as 1. I am not talking about the units. About units I shall explain further. Okay. So that is how you calculate the rate of the reaction. So in terms of products, if you want to tell, that also we can do. That is, in 5 minutes, initial concentration was 0. After 5 minutes it was 5 moles. So change in concentration is again 5 moles. So 5 divided by 5, again you will get it as 1. So you can calculate the rate of the reaction maybe in terms of reactants or in terms of products. Is it clear? So what is rate of the reaction? Rate of the reaction is equal to change in concentration or concentration change by time taken. Okay? There are two types of rate of the reaction. First is average rate of a reaction and second one is instantaneous rate of the reaction. So we will see first what is average rate of a reaction. It is the change in concentration of any of the reactants or any of the products per unit time. So how we are actually going to calculate, I shall explain here. Consider R giving P. That is, R is reactant, P is the product. Now 1 mole of the reactant R produces 1 mole of the product. Why it is 1 mole? Because here there is no stoichiometric coefficient, then means it is 1. So I am taking 1 mole of the reactant is giving 1 mole of the product. Okay. At time T1, let the concentration of R and P be R1 and P1. So at T1 time, okay, concentration of R is R1 and P is P1. Okay, that is product is P1. Then when the reaction is happening for some time, then after some time I will take the time as T2. Okay, then the concentration of R has changed to R2 and P1 has changed to P2. Okay, so what is the change in time? Change in time, we put it as delta T. Delta is put when there is a change. Okay, so change in time is what? T2 minus T1. Okay, same way, change in concentration of R, that is reactant, is R2 minus R1. Correct? Final minus initial. Okay, similarly, delta P is P2 minus P1, that is the final product minus the initial product. That is final molar concentration of the product minus the initial molar concentration of the product. Okay, so what will be the rate now? Rate of disappearance of R is equal to decrease in concentration of R by time taken. Now, why we are using the word disappearance here, and why is it that we are always using decrease in concentration of R? Normally, when time t is equal to 0, that is before the reaction has started, the concentration of the reactant will be highest, correct? Product is not yet formed, isn't it? So the concentration will be highest for the reactants. As time passes by, as the reactants are getting converted into products, the concentration of the reactant slowly decreases and the concentration of the product slowly will increase. That is why what is happening during the reaction? The reactants are disappearing, or the concentration of the reactant is decreasing. That is why we are using rate of disappearance of R is equal to decrease in concentration of R by time taken. So what is the decrease in concentration or change in concentration of R? That is R2 minus R1, which I have written as delta R. So it is delta R by delta T. Now why there is a negative sign here? That is because it is decrease in concentration. That is the reason we are putting a negative sign. Always for reactants we put this negative sign. Okay. Similarly, I can tell the rate in terms of products as well, isn't it? So, rate of appearance of P or rate of appearance of the product. Why appearance? Because the products are formed. It is appearing, isn't it? So, rate of appearance of the product is equal to increase in concentration of P by time taken. So, increase in concentration because the concentration of the product is increasing as the reactants are getting converted to the products. So, delta P by delta T. Now, in this full slide you can see concentrations. When I am talking, we have used a square bracket. A square bracket is put, then it is molar concentration. What is it? It is molar concentration. Moles per dm cube. How many moles are there in a liter? So that is molar concentration. The molar concentration is depicted with a square bracket. So you please do not use any other kind of bracket here. It should be a square bracket. Okay. So I hope you have understood about average rate of the reaction. To make it still clear for you all, I shall explain with this reaction also. For a chemical reaction, for example, here we have AA plus BB giving CC plus DD. Here small letter A, B, C, D are stoichiometric coefficients. What is it? Stoichiometric coefficient. That means it is the numbers which we use for balancing a chemical equation. Okay. Then what are the reactants? A and B are reactants, C and D are the products. So for this reaction, how do I write the average rate of a reaction? That is R average is equal to, now in terms of A when I will write it as minus 1 by A delta by delta T. Always remember the stoichiometric coefficient has to be written as a fraction, that is 1 by 8 has to come in the denominator. Okay. So negative sign because it's a reactant. Similarly, in terms of B, if I write, it is minus 1 by B delta B by delta T. Similarly, in terms of products, if I am writing, it is 1 by C delta C by delta T and 1 by D delta D by delta T. Or here we can also write it as the rate of the entire reaction. I can put it in any of the forms. I can write only with terms of A, I can write it only with terms of B, only with terms of C or D. But all of them will be equal to one another, isn't it? So rate of disappearance of A is minus 1 by A delta A by delta T. Similarly, rate of disappearance of B is minus dB delta B by delta T. Similarly, rate of appearance of C is 1 by C delta C by delta T. Now here you see I have put a negative sign for the reactants. So for products actually it is positive sign, but you need not depict there. It is understood it is positive. Okay. So rate of appearance of C is what? Plus 1 by C delta C by delta T. Similarly, rate of appearance of D is plus 1 by D delta D by delta T. Now for a reaction, if I have to write, for example, hydrogen iodide is forming hydrogen and iodine. Okay. Now for this, if I have to write the rate of reaction, in terms of reactants, if I write, it will be minus 1 by 2. Why 2? Because I have the stoichiometric coefficient 2 here. So it is minus 1 by 2 delta Hi by delta T. That is, reactant is what? Hydrogen iodide. And I have put it within the square bracket because it's the molar concentration what I am taking. So delta Hi by delta T. Now in terms of product hydrogen, if I have to write, then it will be delta hydrogen H2 by delta T. In terms of iodine, if I have to write, then it will be delta I2 by delta T. So for any reaction, if you have a balanced chemical equation, you can write the expression for average rate of the reaction. Okay. Next we have is instantaneous rate of the reaction. Now what do you mean by instantaneous rate of the reaction? The rate of the change of concentration of any of the reactants or product at a particular instant of time. That is, at that one particular instant, I want to know what is the rate of the reaction. For example, the reaction is happening for 10 minutes. Okay. But I want to know the exact rate of the reaction at 8th minute. Then that is called as instantaneous rate. That one particular minute I want to know what is the rate of the reaction, or I calculate the rate of the reaction. That is called as instantaneous rate of the reaction. Okay. So how do we write it in the mathematical form? That is, instantaneous rate of reaction is equal to minus dr by dt is equal to, in terms of product, if I write, it will be dp by dt. Okay. So R is reactant, P is product. Because it's reactant, we have used the negative sign. Because it's product, we have not written anything. That means to tell it is a positive sign. Okay. Here, this is a very small change. That is why we are not using delta. We are writing it as D. Okay. It's a very small change because it is at one particular instant of time, isn't it? So, for a reaction, that is A plus B giving C plus D, the instantaneous rate of the reaction can be expressed as minus 1 by A dA by dt minus 1 by B dB by dt, or 1 by C dC by dt, which is equal to 1 by D dd by dt. Okay. So I can also calculate the instantaneous rate either in terms of the reactants or in terms of the products. So I hope you have understood what is rate of the reaction. Is it clear? Next, we are going to learn about how to plot the graph, okay, and how do I get the rate of the reaction from the graph, okay. Now for example, we are going to conduct an experiment, okay, at time t is equal to 0. That is, first I have taken only my reactants. I will just note down at time t is equal to 0. This is molar concentration of R and this is molar concentration of P, okay. When t was equal to 0, this might be 10 and this is 0, okay. That is, the products are not yet formed. Now after 2 minutes, this might have changed to 8 and this is 2. After t is equal to 8 minutes, okay, this might have changed to 5 and this also has changed to 5, okay. Maybe at time t is equal to 10, we have only 2 and this is 8. So like this, when I am doing an experiment, okay, I have different methods at which I am going to find out at a particular time. I will calculate the concentration of the reactant and concentration of the product. So I have a data like this from the experiment what I have conducted. Now what we do is we plot a graph, okay. In the graph, first I have taken only concentration of reactants. I have not taken the products into consideration. In my first graph, I have taken the time and the concentration of reactants. That's all. Okay. So concentration of reactants is in the y-axis and time is in the x-axis. Okay. So I keep plotting. So first at time t is equal to 0, the molar concentration is called as R naught. That is, we write it like this, R naught, which is initial concentration. So initial concentration when time t is equal to 0, that is the amount of reactants what you have taken, is called as initial concentration, which is depicted as R naught. Okay, so when time t is equal to 0, concentration was R naught. As time passed, you can see here the concentration of reactants is going on reducing, isn't it? So same way, if I go on plotting the graph, I am going to get different points, and if I join the points, I am going to get a curve like this. Okay, it starts from the y-axis and slowly it is reducing, and then you can see it is going on becoming constant after a certain time. That is, you will get a straight line after some time. Okay, now this is the graph which I have got. Now from this graph, how do I calculate the average rate of the reaction and instantaneous rate of the reaction? That is, for example, I will take at time t1. This is my time t1 and this is my time t2. So at t1, the concentration was C1 and at t2, the concentration is C2. So average rate is equal to, what is it, minus sign I have to put, delta R by delta T, isn't it? So what is delta R? That is C2 minus C1, correct? The final concentration minus the initial concentration. So it will be minus sign, I have to put this minus sign is written outside, C2 minus C1 by T2 minus T1. So I get the values here from my graph, I put it over here and then I will calculate the average rate of the reaction. Okay. If I want to calculate the instantaneous rate of the reaction, maybe at this particular time t. So I will just draw a line which touches the curve. For that I will draw the tangent and then we find out the slope. So what is slope? That is dr by dt. That is, slope is dy by dx, correct? This distance dy by dx, correct? So you have to just take the values here, minus dr by dt, which is equal to minus the slope value, that is dy by dx. Okay, so that is how we calculate the instantaneous rate of the reaction. Now this is in terms of reactants which we have done, correct? Now I can also plot a graph by taking the values of the product and the time. That is, we take the molar concentration of the product in y-axis and time in the x-axis. Okay, so time is there in the x-axis, concentration of the product is there in the y-axis. So how will I get the graph here? See, at time t is equal to 0, concentration is what? For product, it is 0. So I will get a graph which is starting from here. That is, which is starting from 0 only I will get. So as we plot the graph, we are going to get a curve like this. You can see it's going on increasing. After some time it will become constant. Okay. Similarly, just like how we did for reactants, so average rate in terms of product if I want to calculate, I take at time t1 the concentration is C1, at time t2 the concentration is C2. So what will be the average rate? Our average is delta P by delta T, which is equal to final minus initial. What is final? C2, initial is C1. So it is C2 minus C1 by T2 minus T1. Okay, this is how I calculate. I put the values here from my graph and I calculate the average rate of the reaction in terms of products. Instantaneous rate, at a particular time I just draw a tangent, then I find the slope. Okay, so for instantaneous, dp by dt, that is equal to slope. Okay, so that is how we calculate the rate of a reaction. Both average rate also we can calculate as well as instantaneous rate we can calculate by plotting a graph. And when do we plot a graph? Once we have the data in hand, that is after doing my experiment, when I have the time as well as the molar concentration of the reactants and product at that particular time, then we can plot such graph and we can calculate the rate of the reaction. Okay, so I hope you have understood how to do this. Next one, what is the unit of the rate of a reaction? What is it? What is the unit of the rate of the reaction? Now what is rate of the reaction? Rate of reaction is equal to change in concentration of reactants or products by time taken. Now how are you going to calculate the concentration? In what terms? Mole per dm cube, correct? Or mole per liter? So it is mole per liter and time is in seconds. Okay, so what is the unit of the rate of the reaction? It will be mole per liter per second. So the rate of the reaction is expressed in mole per liter per second. But when the reactants and products are in gaseous state, okay, and their concentration are expressed in terms of their partial pressures, then the rate of the reaction will be atmosphere per second. So if it is a gaseous reaction, then we are going to calculate the partial pressure, not the molar concentration of the reactants and products, isn't it? That's why the unit can be atmosphere per second. Okay, so that is about the unit of rate of the reaction. Next, what are the factors which is affecting the rate of the reaction? That is, how can I increase the rate of the reaction or how can I decrease the rate of the reaction? I can understand by knowing which are the factors which actually affect the rate of the reaction or speed of the reaction. So which are the factors? The first one is nature of reactants. So what is the kind of a reactant which you have? Whether it is ionic solution where the reaction is an ionic reaction, okay, then it will be really very fast, okay, or whether it is an organic reaction, okay, we have organic compounds, it is a little slower. So what is the kind of reactants which we are taking? So that affects the rate of the reaction. Next, concentration of reactants. Here, is my concentration of the reactants high or low is very important. As I increase the concentration of the reactant, there will be change in the speed of the reaction. So what is it exactly? We will learn further. Okay. Next factor which is affecting is temperature. Whether increase in temperature is going to increase the speed of the reaction or decrease the speed of the reaction. So that also we will learn. That is the third factor which affects the rate of the reaction. And also the last one is presence of a catalyst. We know that catalyst usually will increase the rate of the reaction, but there are catalysts which also decrease the rate of the reaction as well. Okay, so we are going to learn how a presence of catalyst will affect the speed of the reaction. So we are going to learn here how the concentration changes the speed of the reaction. Okay, how does temperature increase or decrease the rate of the reaction, and how the presence of a catalyst will affect the rate of the reaction. So these three factors we are going to learn in detail. Okay, next we have dependence of rate of the reaction on concentration. What we are going to learn? We are going to learn how is the change in concentration or how concentration of reactants affect the rate of the reaction. For that, first we need to know about rate law. Okay, what is rate law? The representation of a rate of a reaction in terms of concentration of the reactant is known as rate law. Okay, it is also called as rate equation or rate expression. Okay, so for example, I'll consider a general equation, that is AA plus BB giving CC plus DD. I already told you all A, B, C and D are the stoichiometric coefficients, capital A and B are the reactants, capital C and D are the products. Okay, now if I'm writing or relating the rate of the reaction to molar concentration of the reactants, then we call it as rate law. So I can write it as rate is directly proportional. Rate of the reaction is directly proportional to molar concentration of A raised to the power X, molar concentration of B raised to the power Y. Okay. Now here exponents X and Y may or may not be equal to stoichiometric coefficient A and B. That is, X may or may not be equal to A, Y may or may not be equal to B. Okay. Now from this equation I am removing the proportionality and I'll put a constant. So that is called as rate constant. So rate of the reaction is equal to K into molar concentration of A to the power X and molar concentration of B to the power Y. This is called as rate expression or rate law. Okay, and K is the rate constant. So what are we doing in rate law? We are relating the rate of the reaction to the molar concentration of the reactants. Now, rate expression or rate law is experimentally determined. This X and Y are experimentally determined. You cannot write a rate expression by looking into the balanced chemical equation. That is why we have not used here A and B. So, if I write it as A to the power A and B to the power B, it is just from a balanced chemical equation is what you are writing, isn't it? Here, I cannot look into a balanced chemical equation and write the rate expression because rate expression is experimentally determined. What is this exactly X and Y? I shall explain to you all in the next class. Okay. Further, what is rate law. Okay, the definition if you want. The rate law is expression in which reaction rate is given in terms of molar concentration of reactants with each term raised to some power which may or may not be same as the stoichiometric coefficient of the reacting species in a balanced chemical equation. So this is called as the rate law or rate expression. What is it? Rate law is an expression in which the rate is equal to the product of molar concentration of the reactant raised to their appropriate powers. But these powers may or may not be equal to the stoichiometric coefficient from a balanced chemical equation. Okay. Now, instead of rate, I can also write it as minus dr by dt. Why? Because here it is molar concentration of reactants, isn't it? So if I write it as change in molar concentration of the reactant by change in time, okay, which is equal to K into molar concentration of A to the power X molar concentration of B to the power Y, then this is known as differential rate equation. So instead of writing rate, if I put it in terms of an equation, a mathematical form if I put there, then we call it as what? A differential rate equation or differential rate expression. Okay. Next, what is rate constant of a reaction? Rate constant is equal to rate of a reaction when product of the molar concentration of the reactant is unity. So what is rate constant? Rate constant will be equal to the rate of the reaction when molar concentration will be equal to 1 or unity. Okay. So that is the definition for rate constant of a reaction. Next is example, how will I write the rate expression? For example, here you have 2NO gas plus O2 which is a gas, 2NO2 gas. Here the rate expression is rate is equal to K NO to the power 2 and O2 to the power 1. Of course, here the X and Y are equal to the stoichiometric coefficient, but this was given after doing the experiment. It is not after looking into the balanced chemical equation what is written. In this case, X is equal to A and Y is equal to B. That is, the powers are equal to the stoichiometric coefficient. Okay. If I have to write the differential rate expression, then rate I will be writing it as minus dr by dt which is equal to K NO to the power 2 and O2. Okay. So this is how we write the differential rate expression. Okay. Next we have the characteristic of a rate constant. So the rate constant, that is K. Okay. What are its characteristics? First is, it is a measure of rate of the reaction. That is, higher the value of K, greater will be the rate of the reaction. That means the high value of K means that reaction is happening really very fast. Okay. Next is, a particular reaction has definite value of K at a particular temperature. So at one particular temperature for a reaction there is a definite value of K which we can get. The value of the rate constant increases with the increase in temperature. That means the rate constant value increases if you increase the temperature. So if the temperature is increased, the rate constant value also will increase for that particular reaction. Okay. It does not depend on initial concentration of reactants and its units depend upon overall order of the reaction. So here what they are telling, it will not depend the initial concentration R0 value, it will not depend on. Okay. And also the unit of rate constant is dependent on order of the reaction. What is this order of the reaction? I will be explaining for you all in the next class. Okay. So in the next session, we'll be learning about order of the reaction and molecularity of a reaction. And also I'll explain about the unit of the rate constant of a particular reaction. Okay. So I hope you have understood today's class. It's a very important topic and also it's a very scoring chapter. So see you next class. Stay tuned, stay focused.